Hey everyone, this is Josh Robison with Team Robison. Thanks for checking out our video today. I'm just going to be giving a quick demo on the automated scene builder, and I won't go too far in depth, but it'll at least give you an idea of how to start and how to use it. Check out our blog, check out our website for a little more information, and if you have any questions, you can post them on our forum on teamrobison.com, or you can send us an email via the Contact Us forum. To start off, you'll see I've got this cute little pig game I'm working on with my brother. We got a couple objects in the background here, and then our side scroller just stays in the same Z going along. There's nothing actually in front of him yet. That's by design. So what we're going to do first is we're going to click on this automated scene builder and then click on the read template file. I'm going to select my JSON template. I've got an example JSON file here that we're going to be using for this first part of the demo. You'll see the JSON format here is just got our scene objects array. Inside of that we have an object with a machine name, which is rock, and then our X, Y, and our Z that is going to place them. The machine name is what matches back to our iScene object and tells it what to pull in. I just want to touch real quick on the iScene object interface. This machine name here is what we use to match back our JSON file to our iScene object. The tag here is the tag that is used in the scene. That's what we're going to use later to delete the game objects. This resource path is the prefab that you can use, or game object that you want to pull in. I store everything that I'm going to use inside of the resources path because we're using a resources.load here. You can also optionally place your game objects in your scene under parent objects. You can either use this parent tag here, which will look up a tag in the scene to see if it exists, and if it does exist, it'll place your objects under that. Or you can use the parent name, which will do a direct gameObject.find by a name and look for that object. If you don't choose either of those, if you happen to have a game space objects folder, or game object in your scene, it'll try and use that as the parent. And finally, we'll discuss the get position call here. This method is called from the automated scene builder object when it goes to actually place the objects in your scene. If you use the isAbsolute JSON property in your JSON file, then it will completely ignore this and it will just place them absolutely in your scene at the exact position that you've put down. However, if you don't use isAbsolute, then it's going to look at this get position and place your objects based off of whatever vector 3 you pass it back from this. So let's take a quick look at our rock scene object that we're replacing our scene earlier. Our machine name is rock. This tells it how to link up to the JSON that we had earlier. Our tag is rock. The tag is the tag that our scene object, or in this case my rock prefab, actually has. This is used when we do our reset and it deletes the objects from the scene. It'll loop through every single tag that it has from these iScene objects and remove them from the scene. The resource path is rock2a. This tells it to use resources.load on rock2a to pull my rock2a prefab from my resources path. My parent tag, I don't have a tag that I want to look for, so I just return null. My parent name is game objects. As I mentioned earlier, this is what it would default to if it didn't find a parent tag or a parent name. It would try and look for game objects if it existed. However, I want to explicitly just say use game objects because this is what I use for my scenes. And finally, we look at our get position method, which returns a vector 3. And it's using these two function calls here that are get previous position and get origin position from the automated scene builder. And what these do is the previous position, or the get previous position method will return the last object that it placed in the scene. If it hasn't placed any objects, it'll try and use the origin. If you haven't selected the origin with the set origin, it's just going to use vector 3.0. So you'll get 0, 0, 0 for your previous position when it makes this call. The get origin position will give you your origin. Again, that will just return the vector 3.0. And in our case, we have automated scene builder.get previous position.x plus x, where x here is our unit. In our scene earlier, or in our script earlier, we put 1 for our x, so it's just going to say add 1 to our previous position times, in this case, times 60. Our velocity for our pig in our game that I'm building is 60, so I say, okay, basically put it 1 second away from the last position. And then our y, in this case it's a rock. I don't want the rock to be off the ground, so I want it to start at the same position as our pig's origin. The pig itself is on the ground, so I said, okay, just put the rock at the same y. And then finally, since our z should never change in this case, I can just say, just use the previous position z each time, and it will stay along the same z line. So when this comes back, it's going to say, put this object 1 second out from my pig at the same y as the ground and at the same z as the pig, so that the pig will run into it. Alright, now that I've loaded the file, I clicked on Automated Scene Builder and Reset and Build, but you'll notice that it's not even anywhere close to my z of my pig over there, and that's because I haven't set the origin yet. So I'll go through, I'll set the origin. I've got this scene picker to where I can actually sit and pick an object from my scene to be my origin. Alright, so you see now that I've picked the scene object, or the object in my scene that I want to be my origin. When I click Reset and Build, it will clear out the old objects, and now it has placed the rock in the correct place in my scene. Now let's go ahead and hit play again, show you that there it is. There's my rock. So cool, right? Next thing we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go back into the JSON file. I'm going to copy the rock, and I'm going to add 2 more rocks into there. And so go ahead and click on Read File again. Click on my example again. So that will read in the new file. And now I just click on Reset and Build. Excuse me, and click on Set Origin, because if I don't, it's not going to appear in front of my pig this time. And now I'll go ahead and click on the Reset and Build, and boom, now you see my 3 rocks. I'll go ahead and click play again, and you'll see as I jump, there's my 3 rocks. Alright, so now I'm going to just reset my scene. That'll reset everything back out. What I'm going to show you now is something a little more advanced. I'm working on a scene, or at least while I've been writing this and testing this particular piece, I wrote something a little more advanced than the example.json. So I'll pull in that file. And you'll see this file has all kinds of objects. I've got some rocks, some apples, some red apples, some mushrooms, all kinds of cool stuff inside of there. Now I hit my reset and build after I've loaded the file in, and you'll see all kinds of cool stuff that's been added to my scene just based off of those small commands in there. It automatically added them where I wanted it to add them. Got my mushroom, poison mushrooms, jump over this stuff. I've got a little bit of a bug here in my code still where my velocity got stopped by that rock because I slammed into it so hard. That's something I'll be working out in my game. This time I'll skip the special green apple that made me speed up too much, and you'll see I bounce off. I got these cool platforms, and these are spaced out exactly how I wanted to be spaced out, at least for this demo scene. And that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I got a pretty cool piece of software here. It's going to save me a lot of time. I hope it saves you guys a lot of time as well. And don't forget to check out our website at teamrobison.com for future updates. Take care, guys.